The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it. Yes, because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is headquarters, world headquarters for this practice. And they have long since been headquarters for hundreds of years. So I interviewed during the pandemic a man named Winston, and he leads a business out of Kano, Nigeria called Winston Leathers. And they are actually a third generation tannery. So he confirmed that his tannery produces leather goods and exotic skins for brands like LVMH, so Louis Vuitton's portfolio of brands, Ralph Lauren, many other luxury brands. And I interviewed him on Twitter. I'll link to that thread so you can go back and read it. But yeah, he shared that this practice of providing exotic skins to the world, but specifically to China, goes back to the Silk Road, when traders in Mali were providing leather goods up through Morocco and on into Asia. Moroccan leather is known for its quality, and Winston actually shared that Moroccan leather can be traced back to Kano, Nigeria, and it's actually Kano leather. So I love all the conversation that Chinese manufacturers have started around like amplifying that those goods are produced and manufactured in China. I want to go a layer deeper and talk about how Black people are actually contributing to the manufacturing as well, because the leather goods and the exotic skins that make up those bags that they're putting together in China actually started on the continent of Africa, in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about it. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about all of it. And sorry, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put my brush down to talk about some bags that I love by Black designers. So this beauty is Antelope. This is by a brand called Brother Valet. A Black woman named Aurora James leads that brand. I still wear fur, don't kill me. I read a great New York Times article about how basically fur was phased out when Black women were able to access it in greater numbers. So basically, because Black women could access something that white people felt was exclusive to them, that's when they decided, oh no, vegan leather. And I am not a proponent of, inhumane treatment of animals, but I do love fur, and it is a part of Black womanhood, Black girlhood, rites of passage. We hand down fur coats. So I love a fur. Brother Valet has great bags, and they also benefit women in Africa who construct these bags. I want to talk about Hanifa. I can't get enough of Hanifa. I love Hanifa Muvemba as a person. And she is also a Black designer from the continent of Africa. She is from Congo, and she produces bags. This is a great bag. It comes in a larger size. It also comes in black, I believe, and maybe red. And yes, I love this bag. She sent this bag to me. Thank you so much, sister. Love this down and wear it, okay? And we gotta talk about Luar. So Luar is headed by Raul Lopez. He is a person of color. And he's actually previously one half of Hood by Air. So if you're familiar with Hood by Air, they pioneered streetwear. He was one half of the duo who founded it and led it. So icon already. He circled back, okay, and hit us with another brand called Luar. This is the ostrich texture. This is 100% genuine leather. It's ostrich textured. I also have a smooth version of this bag in brown. And then I also want to shout out another Black handbag designer named Wilglery. She heads the brand Anima Iris. I had the pleasure of working with Wilglery when I was at Amazon. So I was brought to Amazon. Many of you know I work in luxury fashion. Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm a costume and fashion historian, a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, a Vogue Business 100 Innovator honoree, and a 10+ year veteran of the luxury fashion industry. And during my career journey, Amazon brought me over to stand up their luxury division. And so I onboarded luxury brands with an emphasis on Black luxury brands, okay, and I got to onboard Anima Iris, and Wilglery and her team were amazing. Love her bags down, own more than a couple. They're not within my reach right now, but wanted to shout her out because her bags are still produced on the continent of Africa as well. So support her bags. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, girlies, because it has to go without saying. Black people are in the mix with a lot of things, okay? And this is one of them. So just as China is making sure to assert their contribution and their attribution to the luxury handbag industry, I want to make sure that we assert and attribute Black people's contribution, which is specifically in Kano, Nigeria, via these tanneries. So yeah.
This Dolce & Gabbana coat was actually made in Romania. This Armani suit that I'm wearing was actually made in Bulgaria. It seems like a lot of these luxury brands are ashamed of admitting where they actually make their products. But there's one company that makes luxury goods that's not ashamed of where they're from, and that's Joke, which is my favorite leather and luggage company in the world. It's proudly made in Kenya. Every single component that you see here, from the stitching, from the leather, to the fabric, to the metalwork, to the machinery, is all Kenyan made, completely vertically integrated. And that's what I absolutely love about this brand. They have beautiful products, highest quality you could imagine, and they're not ashamed of the fact that they're from Kenya. They're proud of it, unlike the Italian and French designers that want you to think that you're buying from their country, but they're really just offshoring it to cheap labor. So if you want real luxury, consider Joke. Also, I wouldn't tell you to buy Joke just because it's Black owned and made in Kenya. I would say buy it because it's the best luggage that's available on the market. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. I got a flight to catch.
Well, the thing about it is the leather doesn't come from Italy. It comes from Nigeria, northern Nigeria.
So everyone has been sending me this video because, you know, my family make leather for a lot of the biggest fashion houses in the world. And it's absolutely true. In 30 years of making the best leather in the world, we have never gotten credit for the work we do. There has never been a brand we supply who ever came out to say, oh, I get my leather from Winston Leather in Nigeria. Hell, the concept of acknowledging that the raw material is African raw material is so foreign that even after legal action was taken and they got stopped from using the word Italian leather, they much rather call it genuine leather than Nigerian leather. And that just goes to show you how hell-bent these people are on not giving us our flowers. And that's the realization we made one day. And we decided to start our own company because, you know what? We as Africans need to create more African brands and we need to tell more African stories. We export cocoa, we import chocolates, we export crude oil, we import petroleum, we export leather, and we import shoes and bags. And so when someone else is making the final product with your raw material, then they get to put whatever credit they want on the label. So if we had more African brands, then we get to control the narrative, and that's the inspiration behind Winston Leather. So every time you wear one of our shoes or every time you carry one of our bags, you're not just carrying a beautiful piece, you're carrying the flowers of Africa, you're carrying the story of Africa. And
thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, so, like you rightly said, it was good to stop by to do this presentation here, because we're going to post this. We're not just posting it for...
We need to tell the world what he does.
What happens here.
Yes. Me, I travel to Europe. I see so many things like Zara. I took my wife to Zara shop in France and in Napoli and some places. But I didn't know that we have a brother who can produce things bigger than what they're doing in Zara shop here. So we need to tell the world what we have seen today.
Yeah. I like the smoothness of this. I like the smoothness of this. This one, right? Sure. This one? Good promo, man. Good promo. This color is it?
I think that's one shot.
Yeah, sure.
Let me take some shots of it.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah. These carpets have been made in northern Nigeria for over 200 years. Saman da shekara 200 ana wannan aiki a arewa. It's actually very complex craftsmanship. A turai ana kiran shi patchwork leather. And it's expensive because each individual piece is stitched together to the next, ɗayan bayan ɗaya, and so it takes a lot of time to create. Here at Winston Leather, we always strive to innovate and modernize ancient African techniques. These carpets would typically be made with traditional leather tanning methods, and so the leather tends to retain the animal smell, but not these ones. These are made from Winston leather.
My jacket, made in Kenya. My t-shirt, made in Kenya. My bag, made in Kenya. We're getting to the jeans, we're getting to the shoes. Rome was not built in a day. We have so many opportunities to work with the gifts that God gave us, these two hands, and enable ourselves to create jobs for ourselves. The one hindrance that Africa has, and we need to really speak about this, is these borders that were put for us that don't make sense. These borders have landlocked us to a point where I think we're also mentally locked. If I want to send this simple satchel all the way to Accra, Ghana, it will be cheaper for me to send it out of the continent and then back in, because intra-African trade is not being looked at properly. If our leadership said, open up these borders for free trade, open up these borders, trust me, generational wealth would be made within a span of 5 to 10 years, because we have enough brands on this continent. Imagine 1.2 billion Africans, not to mention the 200 million in the diaspora. You take 1% of that. If they can all access these items, what would happen? Would have created generational wealth. And generational wealth, if it goes into black hands, it will alleviate global poverty.